wanted to get back onto you and obviously Big Martin. He's been obviously sparring Tyson Fury once again up in Morecambe. We've seen a few pictures from that. How much, if at all, has Martin been asked to change what he would normally do in light of who Fury's going to be facing next?
No, you wouldn't. They wouldn't ask Martin to do it. Martin, they know Martin's a world-class operator, and you know him at his best and Tyson at his best is just a joy to behold. It's brilliant sparring. It really is good sparring. And
sorry, you go ahead.
No, on you go. On you go.
I was going to say, how well will that prepare Tyson for someone like Ngannou, who's, not a boxer? He's completely unorthodox. How much can that? Is it just a case of you're sparring better people than you're fighting? Obviously,
100%. I mean, Ngannou's not as strong as Martin Bakole. Nowhere near. He certainly not get the skill levels of Martin Bakole. So, if he's not his strength, Ngannou's strength is his strength. His strong suits are his strengths. Martin's stronger. And he's not the greatest boxer, and Martin's a world-class boxer. So, you're sparring with somebody that's better than your opponent all round.
Does it show then that Tyson Fury's taking this Ngannou fight seriously?
Oh, I tell you right now, he's taking it seriously. Very seriously. Ngannou's in for a world of trouble. He's nice man, great athlete and all that. But he'll, as he would do to Tyson in the MMA, it's just the role reversal, wouldn't it? As soon as they get you in the deck, they tie you nuts.
Yeah, I don't think Tyson's going to be going into the octagon anytime soon, despite what he might say.
I don't see it happening.
And is Martin going to be on the same show?
Yes.
And is it going to be against Carlos Takam?
Yes.
Excellent. That's a really good fight.
Mm-hmm.
How's that come about? Because that's one that's been discussed for a while.
We've just been asked. We just got offered the fight about 10 days ago, 12 days ago. And we said yes straight away.
And how do you assess Takam? Just when it seems like it's about time for him to retire, we talked about retirement earlier, he seemed to pull a big performance out the bag.
Well, he did, and it helped with Martin Bakole smashing the 11 daylights out of Yoka. Is there anything left in Yoka? I don't think so. And Takam just get fed what Martin left.
Pick the bones.
More or less.
What sort of challenges do you think Takam can present to Martin then?
None.
That's almost too brutally honest. I suppose it's not your job to build the fight though. But
no, I think Martin will stop him within 6 rounds.
Wow. I mean, that'd be some statement given that, Takam's known for being durable. He took Anthony Joshua later than that. I think Chisora went later than that as well.
No, it took AJ 10. I think it was Chisora 8.
8, I think,
but
yeah.
Joe Joyce done him in 6.
Oh, of course, yeah. But that was contentious stoppage, wasn't it?
He was going to get to him, wasn't
he? Yeah, I mean, I think so. But there was an element of controversy at the time, I seem to remember.
But in fairness, he had a very good fight against Mac Mudimov over in Canada. He hurt him several times. I think the Canadians' youthfulness basically got him through the fight.
And have you been given any sort of incentive or guarantees for Martin's future should he get past Takam on that show?
Well, it's not on our promoter show, obviously. It's on another promoter show, so there wouldn't be any guarantees, I don't think.
But what do you think this can do, given the people Takam's fought in the past, especially if Martin's able to get him out of there earlier than everyone else? Do you think it can propel him finally to that world title shot?
Well, Martin's already got Marius Wack out quicker than Klitschko's, Povetkin, other top fighters. So, and they never get any credit for that. But listen, it's on a massive stage, and if Martin goes out and produces what I know he can produce in for the gym, people are going to sit up and say, "Wow, what a fighter!" A lot of people are taking to Martin now, but a lot more will take to him if he puts on a performance over there.
What's happening now with Martin's WBA position as well? Because you've got Dubois lost to Usyk, then they reinstated Manuel Charr as their regular champion. He's got to defend against Jarrell Miller. How does all this changes? How do they affect Martin's position?
It doesn't really affect Martin's position. There's things in place that I can't go into. But in a very strong position, let's say.
With the WBA or just generally?
WBA.
Okay, interesting. What do you make?
And others. I mean, well, he's number 9 in the WBC as well.
What do you make of that Charr Miller fight if it happens?
That's a small word with a big meaning.
Well, yeah. But if it, all right, what do you make of Charr then specifically?
7 years ago when he was a champion, he wouldn't. I mean, he wouldn't have lived with Fury. He wouldn't have lived with Martin Bakole. He's certainly not going to live with him 7 years on. You know, how old is he now? Has he got to 40?
Yeah, I think so. What about Miller? I mean, there's obviously controversy about whether he should still be allowed to fight, but that aside, do you rate him as a fighter?
He's a good fighter. Martin sparred with him over in Tyson Fury's gym. If he wants, you know, if he wins, then he's not going to look forward to fighting Martin Bakole.
Do you get frustrated about waiting for Martin's chance? Clearly showing in the gym just what a talent he is against better people than he's able to fight at the moment. Surely there's lesser fighters have had title shots.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But, you know, we'll wait for time. We're patient. He's only 30-year-old. Plenty of time. Well, there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time. I mean, Joe Joyce is 38 today, I think, or yesterday. It would have been a nice present if he'd won, don't get me wrong, but 38. So if he's still fighting at the top at 38, I want Martin Bakole retired and living in a big house with a big healthy bank account by the time he's 38.
And just before I let you go, a bit of a light-hearted one to finish, but 2 French-speaking Africans clashing on a crossover card in Saudi Arabia. Is that up there as one of the strangest or most bizarre boxing things you've been involved in?
Well, when you look at it, I think the people that are running the boxing show are bringing people from every continent.
Oh wow!
You know, when you look at the bill, I mean, there's Africans, there's Europeans, there's Canadians. You know, the Americas or whatever. There's some good fights on that. You know, even Wardley against Adelaide. That's a decent fight, British level fight. You know what I mean?